Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Pisces placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Pisces, to get started, I'm going to read from my notes, some channeled messages that came through. So, very first thing I got as soon as I started writing was a new dimension and new clarity coming in for you. So what I was seeing was this image of a Rubik's Cube, but imagine that you're only seeing one side or one face of the cube. So you have all of these colors that are mixed together, but it doesn't make sense in terms of like how to solve it. Like maybe they're moving sort of in a random direction or that kind of thing. But then as soon as you get the third dimension where the square is becoming a cube, all of a sudden the colors and the way that the pieces move makes sense, and it is something that you can solve. So I am getting that for you where it's like all of the puzzle pieces are being revealed. So you can now go ahead and solving something or doing something or, rearranging the pieces in a way that makes sense. But I feel like up until this point, it was kind of coming through as being like that third dimension was not clear to you or was masked in some way or something like that. So how this was coming through, and like, I know that's a very abstract way of thinking of whatever this is, but what I was getting for you, that it may be in terms of getting like a key piece of information. It could be something like, and it feels like it's coming through a person. It feels kind of like it could be a significant soulmate of yours, or I don't know, for some of you, maybe it is a tarot reading, but it feels more personal than that. Like somebody that you know, somebody that you care about, a significant soulmate is like saying something to you, perhaps in sort of like a, I don't know. It doesn't have to be casual. It could be like you're having a very significant conversation with someone, and it provides sort of like that key missing piece of information that reveals the full picture of something, is really how it's feeling. So it could be something like, I don't know. It does feel quite emotional, or that there's like a lot of emotional energy that's attached to this, and that it does feel like a positive thing. But I keep getting this energy of like some sort of cipher, a password, a key phrase that allows you to unlock some sort of new dimension. That's what it's feeling like. It is very exciting. And then on another aspect that was coming through, I don't know if it's necessarily related to this, is that I was getting like this oil of vitriol energy. So in this Alchemy deck, there's a card called Oil of Vitriol, and it talks about this energy of like anger or resentment or bitterness, or this feeling of like somebody lashing out, like getting something off their chest. Like it's really like this sort of like kind of like an outburst is how it's feeling. I don't think it's yours, Pisces, necessarily. It could be, take that if it resonates, but it feels more like you're witnessing this energy in another person. And how it was coming through is with a little bit of a ghost energy. So it could be a reflection of the past or a reminder of a past self. And it's coming through that way as being significant because I feel like it's something here where this feels like an important cycle that you are in the process of completing. And so part of the process of completing a cycle happens when you are like, sorry, let me start that sentence again. Part of the process of completing a cycle requires you to revisit the beginning, right? Like that's how it's feeling. So it's kind of like you may be seeing this ghost energy from the past in order to revisit the beginning of the cycle that you are about to complete. That's how it's coming through. So you've learned the significant lesson. You're looking back, you're revisiting, you're integrating some sort of truth. Okay. And then finally, I was getting that there's a little bit of a nervous energy before some sort of significant event. I was feeling that for you, Pisces, but that once you're actually in it, once you're actually in this significant event, whatever this is that may be upcoming for you, that nervous energy sort of dissipates, and it just feels very like it feels like there's a lot of confidence coming through for you, Pisces. So if you are feeling a bit nervous about something, it's like it's a normal part of the process. I feel like once you're in it, that'll all disappear and you'll just feel confident and good about whatever it is that you're going through with. Okay, so let's pull some cards for you, Pisces. What is Pisces energy right now? Yeah. Oop. Sparks of Light is your first card out. I love that one. Yeah, it's a very positive new beginning. But again, with this solar plexus energy, like with this yellow color. So yellow might be a significant color for you. But I do feel like there's something about that, like, if you are noticing this oil of vitriol energy, like, again, like, it could be someone around you who is going through some sort of period of, like maybe they're lashing out, maybe there's anger, maybe they're, like, expressing something that's, like, frustrating to them, or, like, you know, whatever it is. I feel like it's coming through as being something where it's like you actually experienced this frustration in a past version, like I don't know, at the beginning of whatever the cycle was, that was you. So it's kind of like maybe there's someone around you who is at the beginning of a cycle that you are currently completing. Where was I going with that? And that it may have to do with, like, anxiety and confidence. That's how it's feeling. The Sparks of Light card arrives just in the nick of time, leaving a trail of celestial light to guide the way. Follow these flickers as if they are alchemical clues, guiding you to an illuminated state. When this card appears, it's likely there has been a lull or void of direction in the laboratory. Some may even say the lights have been turned off. But in the deep void of darkness, a messenger of hope arrives, flickering and shimmering with enthusiasm. You might feel the sparks of light as a childlike giddiness, the presence of magic, a vision in a dream, or a simple readiness to wake up from a long slumber. Follow the physical body, follow the tingling sensations of aliveness within, and you will not be led astray. Vitality, clarity, and inspiration are within your reach. You are alive. You are a vital being. Appreciate this moment. One spark leads to the next. Yeah, it does feel kind of like there's that energy of, like, a willingness to get started on something that I feel like you haven't had a lot of clarity on. Like, maybe there's been a time where it's like, just as an example, like, if you haven't been feeling very creative recently, or you haven't been feeling very motivated to do something, or there hasn't been that, like, spark of inspiration. So it could also be Ace of Wands energy for you. That's what I feel like is coming in for you, Pisces. So it could be something like you're building something, like you're creating something, you're working with your hands. It is feeling very creative. Yeah, I'm getting like there's been a bit of a lull, it feels like. You have the solution card, dissolution card, I should say. And conjunction. Who else got the conjunction card in this position? It was Gemini. So I'll link the Gemini reading above. The last Gemini reading I did. There may be a message in there for you. I was also getting strong Cancer energy for you, Pisces. You have lead at the bottom of the deck, but I feel like this is a really positive one because lead is the element that represents Saturn. And it talks about like the beginning of an alchemical process where you're turning lead into gold. So I feel like whatever it is for you is that you're at the beginning now of some sort of process where you're perhaps like, getting like the starting materials to work on something that has been part of your purpose or something that you've always wanted to do, or there's like the significant Saturn energy which is coming through this energy of like discipline, hard work. It also feels very long term, like some, I don't know, maybe some of you are at your Saturn return or something like that. Like there may be something significant coming through in your Saturn placements, or but it is more so coming through this energy of like finding your purpose, right? Like that, or finding something that gives you purpose, maybe, or getting ready to work on that path or something like that. And it is coming through the conjunction card, which is, first of all, this is a card about unity, about love, about coming together. It is also the last card in this deck, so it also represents the world. All of these like things coming together is how it's feeling. And then with the dissolution card, like it's coming through with this energy of like getting ready to dive into something. That's how it's feeling. Really positive. And dissolution, I feel, is also a very Piscean operation, is how it's coming through. I'm going to read that one. I do think it talks about like an ego death, but not in like a negative way. It represents the form becoming formless, that which is solid dissolving into liquid. In many alchemical texts, it is the first operation that summarizes the heart of alchemy. Dissolve to unite. For our purposes, it's important to know that solution involves a dissolving of definitions, identities, and labels. The strongholds of the ego drown in the emotional realm of water. We dive back to the beginning. This operation is humbling and disorienting, and oftentimes feels as though the self we knew has disappeared. Who are we now? How will others describe us? When these questions are afoot, the alchemical magic of dissolution is underway. By surrendering to the waves, we unite with the primordial essence and return to our deepest self. Okay, so Scorpio, which was the last water sign energy that I did, had something like this about like aspects of an identity that were dissolving. So there may be a message in the last Scorpio reading for you. Take it if it resonates. But this one feels a bit more like like all-encompassing than that one. Like Scorpios felt kind of like a single aspect of their identity, whereas yours feels more like it feels very extreme to be like everything that you knew is changing, but that's what I'm getting for you. Like it's feeling like you're ready to dive in. Something is aligning. I am getting this like huge sort of like dimension opening up for you, Pisces, but it is dissolving something that I feel like I don't know if there was like a film or it's kind of coming through as like fog or like something that was obscuring your vision or something like that, that is what's dissolving. That's what's like being removed in order for you to experience this new dimension that like is revealing all of this newness, is how it's coming through. But it almost feels like it happens in like a single instance. Like one conversation is enough to change this, right? Like one small interaction, I'm getting something kind of like a code, right? Like if you have like if you have like code breakers, right? You would use like a cipher to unlock the whole letter, right? But it only requires one little word. As soon as you get that one word, that one phrase, that one code, it unlocks everything, right? Like that's how it's coming through for you, which it feels very significant. I don't know what that is though. For you, of course, it's going to be different for each person. Maybe you are already experiencing this, Pisces, or that's what's going to be happening for you soon. Okay, can I get a card for Pisces, please? The Whale. I feel like it's like a coming up for air kind of energy, because this is coming out underneath the sparks of light. This card talks about emotional depth and also emotional fulfillment. The Whale is a beacon. They're very strong energy. Of course, that's you, Pisces. So I do feel like there's been this I don't know. It feels kind of like a very long time that you have been needing to be emotionally strong, is how it's coming through. So you are very emotionally strong. It's allowed you to get to this state of the Whale. I feel like purple might also be a significant color for you. But that it is time for you to like come up for air, is how it's feeling. I was also just seeing like whales jumping out of the water. Like why do they do that? Other than the fact that it is just like they're just expressing joy, right? Like that's sort of how it's feeling. So of course a lot of water for you. Yeah, it is feeling, especially with the dissolution card, like getting ready to dive into something, but it feels so rewarding. Absolutely a challenge, but one that you feel extremely confident in doing. It's like, yes, let's get started on this. Let's move forward on this project. Let's like do all the things. Like I'm excited to do this, right? Like that's how it's coming through for you. Not to say it's not going to be hard, but it is feeling extremely rewarding. Yeah, dragonfly. This is coming out under the dissolution energy. I love this combination because it's, to me, the dragonfly, of course it's air. This is a mastery of air. But to me, it also has a very significant connection to water because dragonfly nymphs start in the water. So it's, and of course this card as well, this dissolution is also reflecting that the air, the bird, entering into this formless watery state, which is very interesting. Because I feel like there's something here about, so dragonfly is representing your mental state, being able to see through illusions. It's the mastery of the mind and thoughts. But that is also, of course, very closely connected to your emotions, right? Like how you feel what you think about how you feel. So your mind, like your thoughts, your mind, and your emotional state, I feel like are part of what this is talking about for you. Because I'm getting this energy of like when you're doing something that you love, or when you're engaged with something that makes you feel good, your mind is clear, you have positive thoughts, you have hope for the future. There's all this like creative mental energy, like your mind and your emotions are engaged in this. That's how it's coming through. And it's like you do enter a flow state, and that flow state is coming through as being like something where the ego dissolves. The ego dissolves. You're not thinking about like I guess, I mean, there may be part of it about like what other people might think about it, but it's also just like things that the ego would say, like, I don't know, like, you should do that, you shouldn't do that, like, I don't know, just like critical sort of thoughts that would disrupt that process, right? Like if you're creating something, it's just kind of like you're in the flow, you're doing this thing, there's no second guessing. Is just what I'm getting with this. Yeah, there's a lot of water coming through here. I'm seeing like a horizon now, right? Like where water, like ocean meets sky. That's the image that I'm seeing there. Or again, there may be something significant about animals that have that deep connection between water and sky. Like, because I keep seeing things like the whale jumping out of the water and birds that are going into the water, or like dragonflies that start in the water and then become flying insects, right? There's something significant about that. Maybe there is something like, as it could be as simple, Pisces, as being like giving voice to your emotions, right? That could be what this is talking about. Talking about how you feel, or expressing something verbally, or having some sort of emotional energy become an idea or something like that. Water moving into air, air moving into water. And the hawk for the conjunction card. Yeah, that's that. The hawk is a divine messenger energy. It shows us direction as well. And then you have the sea serpent. Okay. This card, like, is making me feel very emotional. Like, that just felt like a wave of relief coming through. Blue is also a significant color for you. But the hawk, again, I feel like there's some sort of communication coming through for you. Perhaps it's happened already. Maybe there is, So maybe you're in this process right now, Pisces. It's kind of like, it feels very positive. It feels like something that you've been waiting to hear. Maybe that you hope to hear, but it just, for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's feeling kind of like something like a misconnection almost is how it's feeling. or if it's not like, because misconnection usually implies like that you're a stranger, that you don't know each other. But I feel like there's something here where it's like, let's say you and a friend have been trying to get together, but like your schedules just keep, like you just can't find a date that works, or like there's just like things getting in the way of you coming together with someone or something. And it's like, finally, this aligns, is how it's feeling, where it's like some sort of, perhaps even like divine intervention, where it's like you and this other can finally connect, or you, whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be a person for you, but it's like, this is that sort of like key piece of information. Again, it feels kind of like that missing piece of information that finally clears something up. And again, it feels like relief, because the sea serpent in this deck, so first of all, sacral chakra, it talks about expressing your desires. It talks about releasing suffering. It also talks about healing and getting relief from past pains. It talks about water energy flowing. Yeah, the sacral chakra is also represented by water as well. So tons of water coming through. It's very emotional. But in a way that feels like quenching or relief, or like very satisfying. It's like you're satisfying something, or something's being satisfied, or it's feeling all very positive. But let's see what else the hawk has to say. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. Yeah. A perspective shift is what I'm getting with this. I feel like there's something here of like, so if it is a particular relationship is being highlighted for you, Pisces, it's like this person, romantic or otherwise, is like saying something that I feel like is like what you have been wanting to hear from them. That's how it's coming through, whatever that is. And it brings you closer. I also feel like it is something where you're seeing something from somebody else's perspective as well. Could be part of that. It's like this, if it's a conversation, it could be like a conversation, opens up some sort of dimension that you weren't seeing about a particular dynamic or a particular situation or something like that. I don't know if this person is perhaps naturally a bit more reserved, or like I don't know. There's been just something about like, not that it's unexpected. I don't think it's unexpected, but just that it just feels like the timing hasn't been right in this connection up until this point. But I feel like with the dragonfly here, because this card for me personally is one of a very spiritual connection as well, where there is a lot of telepathy, or there's a lot of like dream connections. You're very in tune with each other's thoughts and feelings. Again, doesn't have to be romantic. This could be any genre of soulmate. But it's like so it is feeling like that, like where it's like maybe you and this person are very connected on sort of like a telepathic spiritual level, but it wasn't verbalized, is how it's kind of coming through. So there, like, this came out in the Scorpio reading as well, I think, or anyways, doesn't matter. where it's like, you can believe all these things, right? Like you can say like, oh, I hope that this person feels the same way, or, you know, I hope that this person knows how I feel. And then this is the conversation that confirms that for you. Rather than it just being sort of a singular experience, it's shared with the other person. It's a uniting. It's a coming together. And this really, I just want to emphasize, this really does not have to be romantic for you in whatever sense of it. Like, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. It could be something like a work colleague or something where it's like you and this person really work well together. All the projects that you work on are very successful. There's this positive, happy energy whenever you're in the office together, that kind of thing. And it's like both of you coming together to acknowledge that and be like, you know, we work well together. And the other person confirming that and saying like, oh, let's work on this. And it's like getting ready to dive in on a project together. Not romantic, but it also has all of that love and like positivity and emotional energy that makes something more productive. I want to say like more productive. Tons of ideas are generated. There's motivation, there's a willingness to work, there's like investment and purpose is really what I'm getting with this. But of course, that can also be a romantic relationship, whatever it is for you. Okay, so Pisces, let's pull some tea leaf cards. Okay, you have horse, a short journey. Finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the future. The sun, happiness and well-being. Interesting. Mule. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. Camel. Persevere and you will overcome problems. And Valley. Deep personal strength and peace that assures success. And then you have Cup at the bottom of the deck. You should accept valid criticism. Okay, interesting, because you have here 3 animal cards that are all very like, I'm sure there's a word for this to describe these sort of animals. You know, they carry things for us. They represent work and I'm getting things like a pack animal, but it's not that. I don't know what the word is, but that's what's coming through. Like journeying. These animals are all used for journeying and carrying us to certain destinations. Like that's how it's coming through. Horse, mule, and camel, which is very interesting. Because I feel like there's something here. Well, okay, first of all, lots of movement is just what's coming through with that. There's movement forward, right? Again, with that image of like a Rubik's Cube, now that you have all the pieces, you can start to solve something. So I do feel like there is that sort of like, it's implied that there is some sort of problem that you're working on. You are working on some sort of problem, but now you have the full picture. So it becomes easier to solve this problem or to work on it because you have all the pieces. The finger is coming through as, I don't know, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. part of what might be a dissolution energy for you, Pisces, is this mule energy. Because I am seeing that there is, whatever this is, I'm going to just call it a partnership, but take it how it resonates. Will require you to change an aspect of your, I don't want to say an aspect of yourself. I don't want to say an aspect of your identity, but it could be part of that. Where, especially if it's something where it's like you have an established way of doing things, let's say. Perhaps you're very independent. Maybe you have all this, like all of these things that work really well for you as an individual person. But in this partnership, those methods are not necessarily going to work for the partnership, is how it's coming through, or for your partner. So it requires change in that way, where it's like becoming more adaptable. And that's where the valid criticism is coming through. Not that you're doing anything wrong, but that it requires a bit more of an openness in terms of I want to say like how problems are solved, or how like a certain process is approached or something like that. Like it just, the most simple example would be like things that work for you as an individual does not work for the partnership as a whole, is how it's coming through. So that's where the dissolution comes in. The dissolving of a particular form, I want to say, like a particular way of doing things, or that maybe will hold you back here, or, well, maybe that holds you back, or that like you're moving forward in a particular direction that would not necessarily serve the partnership or something. Anyways, with the camel, I do think that you are going to overcome these problems, whatever they are, like persevering through difficult times, especially because that's coming out with the valley as well, like deep personal strength that assure success. Yeah, so you will overcome these problems, but I feel like maybe you are going through something right now with the finger card coming out. That's warning you of a potential issue or potential fork in the road, is how it's feeling. Maybe like with the horse, a short journey, like maybe there's a bit of a detour or something like that. Maybe also a little bit of a personal sacrifice, is how it's feeling. The Fool. A new beginning, that's for sure. The Nine of Pentacles. Very interesting. You have Three of Pentacles and Five of Cups coming out next. And then the Chariot. Seven of Swords. Two of Swords. Four of Pentacles. Okay, so what I'm getting with this, Pisces, is that there is I don't, okay. Are we in a Mercury retrograde right now? I feel like we're not, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I have no idea, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm getting though is that the energy feel like what the tarot cards are showing me is that like this is looking back on a past energy is how it's coming through. Where I feel like so you're coming out with the Nine of Pentacles, which is this like very independent, prosperous, abundant personality is how it's feeling. Like you get things done on your own. You're very independent. Very productive, very bountiful is the word that's coming through. But then in the middle here you have the Five of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. And this Three of Pentacles in this deck specifically talks to me about like being disappointed in collaborations that fell through, that didn't work out. It's kind of like you're working in a group project, but you're the only one who's doing the work, right? Like that's how this card comes through to me. And because it's paired with the Five of Pentacles, there's almost this feeling here of like, again, past relationships where you were the one who sort of held the emotional energy of it, or that you were sort of like the one that took a lot of care in maintaining, I don't know, the emotional safety or something like that. Like you were the one holding the cups, whereas another in the relationship or dynamic was sort of careless with it, is how it's coming through. So there's this feeling here of like, this is the past. This is what you're looking back on. This might be something that you're clearing. This sort of like feeling of disappointment that other people did not contribute to a relationship or dynamic as much as you did, is how it's feeling. Because I feel like that is what has caused perhaps in you Pisces this sort of like, for lack of a better word, stubborn pattern of behavior in terms of like not trusting other people, taking on too many responsibilities, not allowing other people to help you, because for good reason, right? Because in the past you've had relationship dynamics where people did not support you, or people didn't help you, or people were incapable of giving back to you in the way that you needed, right? Like, so those negative patterns might have developed because of that. And I feel like there is this energy here that is wanting to change that because of this sort of Seven of Swords energy. Seven of Swords, Two of Swords, where it's almost like you have to fight your past self, is how it's coming through. Not fight, but like you almost have to like convince yourself that this new thing is not going to be like that. This future thing, this conjunction, this like positive energy is not going to disappoint you in that way. Or if it does, it's something that you will work through, right? Because it's feeling kind of like there's this like very natural tendency to not a very natural tendency to revert back to what feels familiar is kind of how it's coming through. And what I'm getting as familiar for you is this, the disappointment is how it's coming through. And I feel like that's not what this is. So if you go into this with this energy of disappointment, then that is what you will manifest. So I feel like the challenge for you is like forgetting almost the past energy, like releasing it, trusting that this new thing is going to be better than the last, which requires you to like not forget necessarily, like don't wipe it from your mind, but also know that the next thing will be better, right? Like that's the sort of the challenge that I'm getting for you. I do think there's this energy for you that will require you to like persevere with this Four of Pentacles. This one is talking about like really solidifying that truth within yourself, because the Two of Swords to me in this deck in particular talks about like, you know what the truth is, that it will work out, that it will be positive, that it will be this love, unity, conjunction energy. You know this, right? Like both swords are pointed in that direction. But there is this moment of like taking a minute to reaffirm that before you take action. It's like taking a minute to just like solidify that within yourself, to like take a breath, to confirm that yes, this is true, and then solidifying that in some way. So just to summarize, Pisces, I feel like right now you may be going through a period where something is coming up for you that is alerting you to this potentially a potential problem, maybe like where it's like highlighting past energies that you may be needing to just work through, like that may be bringing up past disappointments or like past whatever things that are trying to be let go, so that you don't necessarily repeat those patterns, is how it's coming through. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.